All right, today we're doing Chapter 1, Section 3, communicating with graphs. Here's your essential questions. What are the three types of graph and how are they used? How are dependent and independent variables expressed in a graph? And how can you analyze data using various types of graph? First off, a graph is just a visual display of information in a data table. Here's a graph right here, just a simple graph. If you want to click on the animation and watch that, that's perfectly fine too. So let's just jump right in. A line graph. Line graphs usually show a change over time. Okay, it's time and the changes that occur during time, whether it's a temperature or anything like that. In this case, here's the data table. All right. And sometimes it's easier to use the data table or read the data table, and other times it's easier to use the graph. Here's this data table. Here's the graph of the data table. All right. You can take a look at both of these. This is also, I have these two data tables in the graph and the notes, so that'll help you out some too, I think. But again, uh, line graphs show a change over time. The other thing in a line graph, the independent variable always goes in the bottom. Independent variable will always go across the bottom, and the dependent goes along the side. So, just for example, here, the temperature change. How is it going to, how will the temperature change? It depends on how much time, depends on the time. So the dependent, independent. This is the x axis. This is the y axis. And time is always on the bottom because you cannot stop time. Time continues. So independent variable, dependent variable. Again, here's it tells you how to construct a line graph, and fairly easy to construct. If you did the lab and you hit the graphing button, you'll see those labs will usually graph out line graphs, make us a line graph. Bar graphs. Bar graphs are used when we are counting. So bar graphs are used when we're counting something. This, again, here's students in a classroom. How many students in each classroom? It might be easier just to look at the graph, all right? Again, on a bar graph, independent variable, dependent variable, okay? Independent is always on the x-axis, dependent always on the y-axis. So bar graphs are used for counting. Circle graphs, on the other hand, or pie charts as they're sometimes called, pie charts and circle graphs. All these graphs and the data tables are also in the notes, so make sure you're watching those notes too. But circle graphs give us a percentage, all right? The whole circle itself is 100%, and it's broken down. And if you add all these together, you'll find out they add up to 100%. So circle graphs are used for percentages. Bar graphs are used for counting, and line graphs are usually changes over time. All right, that's it for reading this. Go ahead and read through it and look at the notes, hit the homework. Good luck.